Hey guys, how we doing? Welcome back to BronxBomberBuzz. Today we got a special new video going around, and as you can see, we got festive spirit going on here at BronxBomberBuzz. But today we're going to be starting a new series. I'm dedicated to doing a weekly Yankees recap, and we have some big news coming from this week. I've got 7 stories lined up, the 7 biggest Yankees stories of the week, and I'm going to present them to you, give you all the details as you need them. So make sure you stay until the end so you get all your Yankees news. And as always, if you want this news live and as it happens, I post every single day on my Instagram, which you can find in the link in the description. I also do some videos on my TikTok as well. And obviously, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you do enjoy the content here. Alrighty, we all know what's coming up first. Juan Soto obviously had some big updates on him this week. It started off the week, actually, a couple days ago, looking like the Yankees were out of the running. We had some news from guys like Randy Miller, notorious idiot, saying that the Yankees were going to top out at $550 million when it came to bidding for Juan Soto. That is not true. David Rifkin went on and basically called bullshit on that one.
Bullshit!
And then we had Jack Curry speak on the Hot Stove Show for the Yes Network for the first time this offseason. And he came on and said that Hal Steinbrenner was feeling very comfortable with where he was when it came to Juan Soto and where he stood with the Dominican superstar. He also said that Hal has a much higher ceiling than most people expect when it comes to what he's willing to spend on Juan Soto, which is a good thing for us because he's going to cost a pretty penny. Which brings us to yesterday evening when it came out that Juan Soto's discussion with teams was in the final stages. He had started eliminating teams, according to his agent Scott Boras, and Andy Martino of SNY came on and said that it's in the final stages of discussions between him and organizations. And then Ken Rosenthal added on to that every team is still involved, has an offer to Juan Soto with upwards of $600 million. We don't know the years on that, we don't know the AAV on that, but we just know every single team that is still involved with Juan Soto has offered him at least $600 million total for the length of his contract. And yes, it is also understood that the Yankees are still one of those teams, so no worries there. And one of the speculated teams that is eliminated completely from contention for Juan Soto is the San Francisco Giants. Were they even in for him in the first place? What? But that's all we got for Juan at the moment. Of course, it could be within the next few days that we find out that he has made a decision. His signing is not imminent, according to Scott Boras, but he is expected to sign before the winter meetings that start December 8th in Dallas, Texas. And that information is also courtesy of Andy Martino again, who broke that news that he is expected to sign before. Alrighty, and we just got an update as I am filming this video. Literally, I filmed the rest of the video, but I wanted to come on here and jump on and say, before we get into the rest of the video, that news has come out. Jeff Passan confirms that the Juan Soto meetings will take place going into the weekend before the winter meeting, so we will have a definite decision before Monday, which is huge. And he mentioned 5 teams that are still in the running for his signature: the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the Boston Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. All have meetings set up with him going into this weekend, so we will have a definite decision come the weekend on where Juan Soto will be playing. Couldn't be more excited, and let's get into the rest of the video. We're going to go on to the stories that you might have forgot about or that you might have missed here. Starting off with the Yankees reported liking of Alex Bregman. That's pretty much all we know on that right now. John Heyman first broke the news that the Yankees liked Alex Bregman, and it's been well known that the Yankees are in the market for a big infielder, a big market infielder. Obviously, we know we need some help in the infield with the departure of Anthony Rizzo and Gleyber Torres. And there's going to be some other names I'm going to float around later in this video that could also fill that void there. But Alex Bregman, it's come out that he wants a contract similar to that of Manny Machado's. No, you're not as good as Machado. You're a very good player, Bregman, but we're not paying you that kind of money. And that's courtesy of John Heyman once again. But you're not worth that much money. I don't want to overpay that much for a player that, yes, is a very good player. But if you want that much money, I don't mind you going back to Houston. I would love to have you in the Bronx, don't get me wrong, Bregman. But if you want that much money, I don't want to overspend that much, especially when it comes down to the fact that if we do sign Juan Soto, our funds will be very limited to where we can upgrade throughout the rest of the offseason. Now, if we don't sign Soto, all bets are off. We're going to go around and start throwing around money like we don't even know what it is at this point. That's what Hal's going to do if we don't get Juan. So equally exciting possibility there. All right, but transitioning to the pitching side of things, it's been rumored for a long time that we are in the market for a lefty starting pitcher, especially a high-end lefty starting pitcher. And it came out today that the Yankees have had a 90-minute Zoom meeting with Max Fried. And a source close to Max Fried said that he really, really likes them, and another meeting is already scheduled. And apparently went very well. That news is courtesy of the lovely Michael K. I would absolutely love to have Fried in the Bronx. If we get Max Fried, we'd probably have the best starting rotation in baseball next year, right up there with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Who, of course, signed Blake Snell. Fantastic. But that's all positive news there. Things are looking good on that front. John Heyman predicted a while back that Fried would command a contract around $150 to that $160 million range, so he wouldn't be cheap. But for a quality starting pitcher like himself, I'm willing to do that deal in a heartbeat. I would love to have him in the Bronx. Seriously, I think he'd be amazing for us. He's one of the game's best pitchers year in and year out. Career ERA of around 3, I think it's 3.07 to be exact. And he's only 30 years old, still got his best years ahead of him, so that's one to keep an eye on for sure. I'm really excited to see how that develops over the coming days and weeks. Alrighty, next up on my itinerary is a potential blockbuster trade with the Chicago Cubs. And I'm not just talking about Bellinger, who Jack Curry said we have had a long interest in, to quote, but also Nico Hoerner. Apparently that could be a 2-person deal. We could try to dump a few contracts. I made a mock trade on my Instagram for Cody Bellinger, DJ LeMahieu, and I believe it was Chase Hampton, who's the New York Yankees 6th overall prospect. I would send that to Bellinger because I feel like for Bellinger and the Cubs, it's not about the Cubs getting a huge haul of prospects in return. It's about the Cubs getting his massive contract for them. Well, for us, it's not that massive, but for them, a massive contract off their books. Because Cody Bellinger will make $27.5 million in 2025, and then in 2026, he has a $35 million player option. So he will be paid very well, and the Cubs are a team that are looking to rebuild with their young core, so they don't want to pay that much money to a singular player, which I completely understand. I have a lot of respect for the Cubs organization. I don't hate them like the Red Sox or Dodgers. I quite respect the Cubs. So if for any reason there's any Cubs fans watching this, hello. And then adding on to Bellinger, if we would add a little bit more in return for the Cubs, we could potentially get Nico Hoerner, another name that's been floated around being on the trade block. Very good infielder, great defensively and pretty good bat as well. So I wouldn't mind that, especially if we get Soto. Getting Bellinger and Hoerner could solve 2 problems, and then we could just focus on pitching for the rest of the offseason. So definitely want to keep an eye on there. I do think we will be doing business with the Cubs, whether that's for Bellinger and Hoerner. I'm not quite sure, but I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to get Cody Bellinger this offseason, and I would like to see Hoerner as part of that package as well. Now it's time to talk about a potential reunion with one of our best relievers from the 2024 season, Tommy Kahnle. He is now a free agent, and John Heyman reports that there are 8 teams competing for Tommy Kahnle's signature, not including the New York Yankees. But the Yankees got an edge when it comes to him. If you remember, he put out a very heartfelt Discord message on his Discord. Didn't even know Tommy Kahnle had a Discord until this came out. But he basically said he loves the Yankees. We were the team that drafted him, gave him a chance, and he's had, a couple successful stints with us now, and that he would love to wear the pinstripes once again to end out his career. And I would love that too. Like I said, he was one of our premier relievers in 2024, was great in the playoffs, besides a little bit shaky in the last game of the World Series. But yeah, he's amazing. I love Tommy Kahnle to the moon and back. Seriously, I would love to have him back. I would feel like he'd be another high-leverage guy out of our bullpen. I've seen some fans say, he's a one-pitch pitcher, all this, all that. That one pitch is pretty damn good. That changeup's pretty lethal. And as you can see, all you got to do is look at the numbers. I mean, he was great for us in 2024, one of the best relievers in the game. So why not bring him back? I think it's a great idea, and one that I definitely keeping a keen eye on, because like I said, I love guys that love wearing the pinstripes, and you can tell that Kahnle takes a lot of pride putting on the Yankees uniform every day. So I want him back. I really do, and I hope we get him back. So another interesting one to keep an eye on for you lot. Alrighty, our penultimate story today is we're going back to Jack Curry on the hot stove. He was talking about Caleb Dobin. Obviously, we know he's shot up the prospect ranks for us and is looking at an opening day roster spot after his performance in the minor leagues and in the Arizona Fall League. A second baseman by trade, but he also played third base sporadically throughout the minor league season, and especially during the Fall League season, he pretty much played exclusively third base. But Jack Curry came on the hot stove episode and said that he expects Dobin to be on the opening day roster in some way, shape, or form. We don't know what kind of role he'll have, whether that'll be as a starter or as a bench guy, but he does expect him to be on the roster in one way or another. So that's a very good sign for him. I really liked Caleb Dobin. I have the privilege of watching him in person. He's a fantastic player, fantastic fielder, great hitter, really slow heartbeat at the plate, and he really deserves a shot. But a lot of that, his role will be determined in spring training, how he performs during spring. And also, it could come down to whether we get Soto or not. If we get Soto, you'll see guys like Dobin and Rice probably get more chances to play. But if we don't get Soto, we're going to splash around the team a little bit more, and they might unfortunately be sidelined a little bit. But either way, Jack Curry expects him to be on the roster regardless of where things end up with Juan Soto. So that's very exciting news. And then our last story for today happened moments before I started recording this video. It came out from Mark Feinstein that the Yankees will swing big on free agent infielder Willy Adames if we do miss out on Juan Soto. Now, Adames hit a power surge at the end of last season. He was one of the best hitters in the game for the last 2 or 3 months post All-Star break, and he is now a free agent. He's going to command a big contract. There are a lot of teams that want him. The Red Sox like him, the Mets like him a lot, the Braves like him a lot. Every team wants Adames. He is a fantastic player, and he's a shortstop by trade. Of course, we all know shortstop's locked up. Volpe is going to be our shortstop for the next 10 years. But he has come out and stated that he is willing to play the hot corner third base should the circumstances be right with his new team. So I think Yankee Stadium circumstances are pretty damn good if you want to come and play third for us, mate. Move Jazz back over to second, maybe even to the outfield. You never know what could happen. But yeah, that, like I said, is probably dependent on if we miss out on Juan Soto, we'll have that kind of cash to spend. And like I said, that is courtesy of Mark Feinstein with the report. Another one to keep an eye on, the top shortstop, probably the top infielder in general, available on the free agent market in the 2024 offseason. So definitely excited to see where that thread leads. And the biggest thing that I wanted to wrap up with this video is all these stories besides Soto will happen after Soto. Plan A for the Yankees is going to be to get Juan Soto. He is a generational talent, probably the best pure hitter in baseball at the moment, and he's 26 years old. You're going to tie him up for the rest of his career. So that's plan A. We won't see much happen on these fronts until after Soto signs, whether that's with us or with someone else. So things will definitely start to heat up and get crazy after Soto signs, because as of right now, he's dictating the entire market, not only for the Yankees, but the entirety of the Major League Baseball itself. That's the kind of player he is. So just some news for you guys. It's been a big week in Yankees news. What am I saying? But yeah, it's been a big week in Yankees news, and I couldn't be more excited to see what happens. Next weekly Yankees recap, we're going to be looking at where Juan Soto signed, because the way things are shaping out, it'll be a couple days now, and he will have his new destination, his new team. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been BronxBomberBuzz. I hope you guys are all getting in the holiday spirit, and I will see you guys next time. Bronx Bombers for life, baby.